Hey guys, for anyone looking to get some arrows in Tears of the Kingdom, I've got some real handy tips that are going to help you quickly increase your stash of arrows. There's a few different ways you're going to get them, and you're going to need a lot of them when you're exploring the depths underneath Hyrule for the Bright Bloom Seeds. So this guy will hopefully give you a lot of really useful information that you don't already know that'll help you get arrows. So I'm going to start with the most obvious one here, and that's actually just to buy arrows. They're not that expensive. Now I know depending on what point you are in the game, arrows may be expensive to you, 60 rupees might be a lot. But if not, you can quickly fast travel between all of the main cities in the game, and each vendor in every city will sell at least 15 to 25 arrows, so you can quickly build up your stash there for a small amount of rupees. I'll have a link in the description that will show you a really handy rupee farming technique that you can get loads of infinite rupees, which in turn will allow you to buy things like this. But there's some other tips that you can also use for getting lots of arrows. So buying is one. The second one is crates and boxes. So things like this, right, in this case it has an apple, but sometimes they will drop arrows, particularly the large square crates. And you'll find them maybe from amiibo drops, and you'll find them in lots of underground places, particularly in camps where there's the bokos. So if you find any boko camps, destroy the big boxes that are there, and they'll give you arrows too. But there's actually a location beneath Gerudo Town that has an awful lot of arrows, and it'll respawn quite frequently to give you a seemingly infinite supply of arrows. So I'm going to show you where to go now. So you've seen where I was up above the town a few minutes ago, and I'm going to make my way down here into the depths. Now you've been here earlier on in the game if you've already finished the Gerudo Town quest. And what you're going to need to do is just run around here smashing vases and pretty much anything you can find. There will have been a quest already that have gotten you to unlock all of these little rooms. Well, it might have been a quest, but it was a challenge anyway to bend the light around here. And there's little mirrors, or you'll see a mirror in here, and you'll use them to reflect light on these little statues. And when it clears the light, you'll gain access to the room. And inside these rooms, you're going to find bows, like we found here. There's going to be little stashes of arrows. Breaking the vases may give you some more. You might make it a bit easier on yourself if you want to kill the like first. There's a stash of 5 arrows. And that's about all I suppose it'll be in here for now. But this is a nice little handy way to get some arrows. If you keep going further on, you'll find some Gibdos, and you can get yourself some of the Gibdo skeletons that are really handy to use for attaching to your weapons. Those will give you a huge amount of damage. They're not great at attaching to weapons like swords because they break easily. But if you attach them to an arrow, which is going to have a one shot anyway, they're very useful for dealing out a lot of damage in one go. So I'm just going to run back out to the desert and find some bokos so I can explain the stuff with them. So I'm back out on the surface with some new attire. My location isn't all that important, but I'll show you anyway. What is important is I found a little goblin camp. Now these are all over the game. You'll have seen tons of them before. You can see another one over there in the distance. They'll be all over the Hyrule Fields. They'll be all over the depths. They're not hard to find. And when you do find them, you'll usually find lots of barrels. And you can see there, an arrow fell out of that barrel. If I go up to the next level, I think I saw some... Whoa, almost went flying there. These big boxes tend to be quite good when it comes to arrows. You're more likely to find... I just knocked one off the edge there. You're more likely to find a set of 5 arrows in these. They're quite common. But still, keep looking for all your little barrels too. Just barrels made of iron or something. Another arrow. And then it's gone. Now, if you don't want to keep wasting the durability of your weapons, you can use your Ultra Hand ability. Lift one box up with the Ultra Hand as high as it will go, and then let it go, and it'll slam down on top of the other barrel, which will then, or another box, which will cause it to break and reveal the arrows inside. So if you're really short for them, this is a handy way to go about it. I think using rupees is probably the better way to do it, and it'll save you a lot more time. But if you're really stuck, you could probably do a bit of farming around these camps, and you could return back to the Gerudo Sanctuary now and then, whatever you needed to do. But these are great ways to get it. There's one other tip I'm going to show you while I have some goblins in the area. Now this goblin here may not be the best guy to show you it with, but I'll try my best. And I'll at least explain the technique behind it. Now, I would suggest sticking wood to your shield. It might help with the durability. But what you need to do is find an archer goblin. So there's one over here with a bow. Now, the reason I said this probably isn't the best location is because he's quite high up. And I don't think I can get a point where I'll be able to get a good enough a distance away from him that he'll shoot me with arrows and I'll still be able to catch them. But what you can do is catch the arrows that these guys shoot at you. And I'll see if he'll shoot me from here. Actually, he probably won't because I think my Goron buddy here. I'll just dismiss these guys quick. Okay, so I've disbanded all of my guys and I'm back up here and I'm hoping he'll shoot me with some arrows. And when he does, they'll either stick to your shield. Oh. And you can pick them up, or when he shoots you, if I can see if I can get him to come to the edge, he'll shoot me with an arrow, and if he misses, which is easy enough for you to do, the arrow will just land on the ground and you can run over and pick that arrow back up. And it's a really, really easy thing to do. So what I'll do is I'll try and get him to shoot past me and I'll see where his arrow went. It looks like it went in this direction. But it's not hard to do, and like I said, it'd be easier if it was in a location where he's a little lower down. But you can find their arrows, pick them up, and then that gives you an infinite supply of arrows. Now, there's only so many you could pick up from a single goblin. There is a limit, but still, it's a great way to get a lot of their arrows really easily, and you don't have to deal with the hassle then of finding more boxes. But if you keep bouncing between all of the little Boko camps in an area, you're going to find a lot of boxes in each of them. And then you're also going to find a lot of the archers who are going to shoot arrows at you. Killing them will generally give you some arrows too. So that's another source of handy arrows. So you've between visiting the stores for the 60 rupees to buy all the arrows that they have, finding the Gerudo Underground, going to the Boko camps, and using any archer enemies, you should be able to build up quite a collection of arrows fairly fast without too much trouble. And sure, you might find some nice other things along the way with the chests that you're going to get in the Boko camps and anything else like that. But just keep in mind that there are lots of stores in the game that will sell the arrows to you too. And I would suggest you have a quick look at the infinite rupee glitch that I'll link in the description. And it'll do you a lot of help when it comes to getting arrows. So hopefully this guide helped you. I'll talk to you later.